Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Ride 4. Once more, why not? We've played a lot of Ride 4 recently, and why not? Because it's such a great game. So we are using the Kawasaki Ninja ZX-10RR right here on the Southern 100. This is a time attack mode for the World Kawasaki Trophy. And the plan is to complete as many of these World League Cups as we can. So I'm going to be doing a lot of videos on these, focusing on completing as many cups as possible. So I really want to do the Endurance Leagues, and I want to join in with the Superbike League. It sounds great. I hope the racing is fast and frantic. Of course, as well as this track here in Southern 100. So, Southern 100... Wow, I'm not great when it comes to road tracks. I actually had a lot of difficulty on this one. I understand you can actually use the rewind function. I didn't use it, and I kept restarting every single one because, well, if I made a mistake, I'd rather just restart the whole thing instead of rewinding because, well, I'm kind of cheating with the rewind. I used to do it back in the old ride games, but I feel like I'd be cheating you guys if I didn't give you a legitimate run. So this is probably one attempt of about 7 or 8. I actually had a bit of difficulty doing this one. I think the bike is absolutely phenomenal, let me tell you. But yeah, this track, I need to learn. I got very lucky here. As you can see, I literally bounced and ricocheted straight off the curb there and was still on 2 wheels. I'm a little bit hesitant to push as much as I can and to really go for it because I just don't know some of the corners. I'm using the road track signs to try and help me out. They help a lot, and the other tracks are the other road racing tracks. So yeah, I was quite lucky to survive that. A little bit close to the curve yet again, but we will beat the 2 minute 15 seconds that is estimated, and we do pass with shining green colours, let me tell you. So now back here at the USMC, I think it's called, UMC. Basically, it's Utah, Salt Lake City. Here on the Kawasaki Ninja. I went for a custom livery on this one as well, by the way. A custom suit livery, that is. I didn't change the bike livery because it already looks just as gorgeous as it is. So we're going for the Pirelli Kawasaki suit. And Jaden River is also on the Kawasaki ZX-10RR, as well as everyone else here, because of course this is the Kawasaki Cup, the World Kawasaki Trophy. And I can honestly say I thought this was going to be a doddle. I thought it was going to be simple, get to the front and escape. And I was wrong. This track, I think it was, it might have been Red Phoenix in one of the previous comments. I do apologise if I got it wrong, and it's not you, I think it is. You said this track is iconic for burning rubber, and my goodness, you are absolutely right. I had 20%, and it's not even finished half of the first lap yet. That's insane. And the tyre wear just got worse. I mean, I made a few mistakes here. I'm on the grass. I'm on the gravel for some strange reason. I think I was recording this quite late, if I remember right. It was like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I work nights, so don't worry. I'm a kind of a night owl. So I kind of prefer to stay up late and record gameplay and then do the recording of the voiceover afterwards. I find it's a little bit more easier for me to focus that way, because doing the jumbling act of commentary and racing at the same time can be quite difficult, as you see in the MotoGP 20 series I have. But we are now in 3rd place. We dropped the ball, let's say, here in the 30 degrees track of Utah. Once more, as I've said just previously a few days ago, I think it was yesterday as a matter of fact, on the MV Augusta track. This is a fantastic track. It is brilliant as contact is made between myself and the Brazilian, a bit like me and Fuchs when we were playing online. Speaking of online, I actually had an idea a few days ago, and I was hoping to breach it with you guys to see what you think. Because MotoGP has now ended, my Sundays are not the same. Sundays are down, upsetting days. I'm thinking we could potentially live stream on that day. I could do some Ride 4, get some people involved, and we could do some online races. I'm not sure yet if I want to jump back into live streaming once again. I used to live stream a lot on Twitch, but I much more prefer doing the content creation. But if that's something you're interested in, let me know. But I am thinking of doing hour, 2 hour long endurance races. Hopefully they're actually competitive. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. But we have closed in on Mr. River now. The American, destined to win his home Grand Prix, of course, but DrAce isn't interested in your fairy tale. DrAce wants to win. I want to take maximum points for all the cups. I'm going to get really close there to the back of Mr. River. Jaden will defend well. Here in turn 5 as we... Oh, contact was almost made there. Thankfully it wasn't. Well, as you can see, the front tyre glowing. I think I actually went for double softs on this tyre because I was using the soft option front and rear for the Southern 100 for the timed attack. I felt like I'd grown confident with those tyres and I would use the same for this particular race. And ultimately I think it was the wrong decision. Of course, as you know, I like a harder front tyre. Always a medium or hard option usually. But going for the soft option, I don't know. I mean, you'll see the tyre degradation and how brutal it is. I mean, there's literally nothing left and we're only 2.5 laps in. It's crazy. As always, guys, if you have any suggestions or comments in regards to Ride 4 or any other video suggestions you want me to do, let me know in the comment section down below. Your input is greatly, greatly appreciated. So of course this weekend I will be working on the Northwest 200 time trial with the 600 bikes, I think it was. I have the comment saved. I think I was Red Phoenix again actually. Shout out to you twice in one video. Just shout out to everyone who's commenting recently. Shout out to Paul, shout out to Liam, shout out to... oh, there's so many. Shout out to the other aces. It's been great support recently, guys. I really appreciate everyone's help and assistance and pushing my channel forward. You motivate me. So you guys are my rock, so thank you very much, I appreciate that. As we're going to try and go for the lunge on Jude... oh, never mind, it didn't happen. We were going to go for the lunge on Jaden River during a very passionate, heartfelt comment from DrAce, but that's going to have to wait because battle has commenced well and truly here in Utah. Tyre are looking pretty bleak. It's less than 30% on the rear and just barely over 34 on the front. My somewhat aggressive braking style as I've gone wide into turn 1 into the sunset bend. We're going to have to allow Jaden River to get back ahead, but we will use the speed. It's fantastic Kawasaki as we temporarily pick up the bike there. Don't fancy Jaden River skittling me across the grass. But now, around the outside, oh, he's picked the bike up. Why do they have to pick the bike up? How many times am I going to have to keep saying this? Just because I'm going around the outside or somewhat close to your bike does not mean you have to pick up and reduce all speed. That is annoying. Fingers crossed they get that fixed at some point. Because fighting the AI, it's going to get close, it's going to get interesting. That's the point of these races. I like to keep it interesting for you guys. But the battle of attrition now commences. It's less than 9/10 of a second, 8/10 of a second, well that's 6/10 of a second all of a sudden, 5/10 of a second, 4/10 of a second, 3/10 of a second, etc, etc. Because my tyres are just going that quick now. I'm really struggling to try and find the right amount of acceleration because the bikes want to spin. The rear is dying rapidly. And it was great actually. This was probably one of the most enjoyable races I've had in Ride 4 in recent events. Really enjoyed the amount of tyre wear as we almost lose the rear there. Hearts in mouths for everyone involved. It gave another dimension to these races because usually against the AI they're not that competitive sometimes. Sometimes you get some magnificent races, you really do, as I almost lost it again. going into the rumble strips there. So 17% and we've not even reached the penultimate lap yet. I was generally considering what would happen when we get to 0. If we get to 0% on the tyres, that is. But 21 on the front, 16 at the back. It's not looking promising. It's going to be tough. As Jaden River is 7/10 behind now. We managed to eke out a little bit of an advantage. Not enough to say this is curtains yet. Anything can happen in bike racing, as you guys know. One little mistake and that is curtains. That is probably one of the greatest things about sports bikes. The risk over reward is very difficult to decide upon, but once you decide correctly, you are a legend. So 2 seconds slower, the tyre degradation has hit us both very hard. So into turn 1 for the 4th time of asking. Penultimate time. 7/10 of a second separate River and Ace. And that tyre wear, oh, that tyre wear. I have never seen it go this low at this point. As look at the slide. The rear slide then was just crazy, leaving massive black lines on the track. This was hearts and mouths moment. I was concentrating hard at this point. I was generally concerned that I was going to crash, because there was a few braking moments where I just didn't feel like this Kawasaki was going to stop. And it completely changed my riding style in a lot of corners, where I was going really aggressively to just trying to survive the corner. Honestly, it was brilliant. I really enjoyed this race. I think this track is absolutely fantastic. I think I've said that last time in the MV Augusta video. And this is probably one of the best tracks to actually race upon. There's so many styles of corners, such fast-paced corners as well, so it gives a lot of opportunities to try different bikes. The slower bikes are still somewhat fun, but not as fun as your beasts, your super bikes, your super sports, etc. But we had a great time on the MV Augusta 1090, of course. But the gap has now come down to 1 second. It was hovering around 1.5 seconds earlier as I got it up just briefly as we... Ooh, big moment there again on the brakes. The rear tyre percentage is only on 6% now. Have you ever seen it that low? Let me know in the comment section below. Rhyming accidentally. As we now brake for some of the greatest corners on this track. Bad attitude. Sorry, is it first attitude, second attitude, bad attitude? That's how it goes. 5%. 10% on the front, 5% on the rear. This, with the weather, the temperatures going very high. It's actually dropped from 30 degrees to 29, but it's still absolutely crazy the way these tyres are just dying. The scream. Have you ever seen it? Have you ever seen it glowing before? That's the very first time I've seen the actual tyre glow, because that's how much they've degraded the fact that the rear is now glowing this bright colour to alert you to the danger. It's like almost telling you your tyres have gone, your tyres are foobarred. And I can honestly say my heart was in my mouth at this point. One thing I did know confidently though was I was getting somewhat same speeds. Jaden was dropping dramatically. He was down by 2 seconds behind me now. He is really struggling. Somehow, 24,000 of a second compared to my fastest lap time in this first sector with these tyres. Don't ask me how I did that. I just felt good in those first couple of corners and then bottled it. Absolutely ruined it. 2 seconds advantage that has just dramatically dropped to 0.8. I'm telling you now, I was panicking. I just didn't feel like I had any traction at all at this point now. 5% on the front tyre, 1% on the rear tyre. Jaden River has caught me up. What happens when this tyre reaches 0? It's going to reach 0 at this point now. Even the front tyre is now kicking off. It's 0% on the rear. What do we do? And I've gone wide again. Oh, the hands were shaking. Panic controllers were sweating in palms of hands. It was getting pretty nerve-wracking at this point. I'm a very passionate guy. I do tend to get very into these races, of course, as you know. But now 3% on the front tyre, 0% for the rear. It is just absurd. But what can we do? Can we survive? It's 0.5 of a second. There's not that many more corners to navigate. Surely we can do it now. This time. As we exit Bad Attitude for the final time. We have a 0.9 of a second gap. We are 3 seconds slower than the fastest lap. That is insane. And here we go, 0.9 of a second. Entering the final 3 corners now. The clubhouse corner, turn 25, turn 26, wind up. And of course, 27, the very long, sweeping, beautiful, majestic corner of release. And here we go, we will release into another victory. As DrAce has done it again. So guys, as always, thank you for watching, it's been a pleasure. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Ciao for now.